Hey everybody, and welcome back to my Big Fat Rom-Com Pod. I'm Kelsey Rodich.
I'm Haley Smith.
And this week, we are going to be talking about The Big Sick.
I'm so excited for this one.
I know, me too. I love this movie so much.
And I watched it last night again to prepare, so I'm like,
same.
Fresh.
Me too. Lots of notes here. I think, first... I always like to look up some,
facts about it?
Yeah, and, details. Because I think, too, especially with this one, this was written by Emily V. Gordon and Kumail Nanjiani. It's about
their
love story and their real life.
Which is actually kind of unbelievable when you watch it. And
my God.
It's it's insane.
It's insane to me, yeah. I'm like, oh, man. But it was nominated for Best Original Screenplay at the Oscars. When I looked on IMDb, it just said nominated.
Okay, so it might have won the Globe or the SAG. I can't remember. I know it won one.
Yeah.
Because they were so excited.
Yes. And so I think what's interesting is that they upped the timeline a bit in the movie.
Okay.
Compared to
real life?
Yeah. At least based on... So I was reading an article. They gave an article before this movie was even... Because this, came out in 2017?
Something like that.
So the article was in 2014. So I don't even think they had written it yet.
No. But
they talked a little bit about the start of their relationship and whatnot. And they had said that her coma happened 8 months into the relationship. And I think in the movie it's 5.
Yeah. Which I made a note that it was fast in the movie. I mean, even 8 months is fast, but...
See, for me, that's... not.
No?
No. I don't know. We'll get into it, I'm sure. Yeah. And I think, there are some... Because I follow both of them on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I'm big fans of them.
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting is a lot of time, because Kumail's an actor, and he's in Silicon Valley, he's, working on a next, he's in a Marvel movie coming up. He's... Okay. Yeah, he's, starting to make it big.
Yeah.
That I think people still talk about the story and, writing and whatnot, but, they kind of gloss over the fact that, Emily wrote it, too. And it's, her story.
Yeah.
And I think
she was the one in the coma.
Yeah. And I think we see a lot of it just being Kumail's story.
Yeah.
But it's... And it is. I mean, it's both of theirs.
Yeah.
But I think it is interesting. I would have liked to have seen more from Emily.
Okay.
Because it did really feel like Kumail's story.
It did.
And his experience. And I feel like I would have wished...
To see more of, her home life, too, a bit,
too. And also just, more of their relationship before.
Okay.
Because I think that that's why you feel like it was fast.
Yeah.
Is because we don't see a lot of that.
Okay.
And anyway, even just in the opening, so in the opening credits,
it's
him doing, so Kumail doing stand-up voiceover, and we're seeing pictures photos of him growing up.
Yeah.
And of Pakistan.
Yeah.
And so it definitely sets the tone, because I think that is a big part of his reservations.
Yeah.
Is about his family and his culture, and having to sacrifice that for love, which is huge. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But I just kind of felt even at the end they show 3 photos of them.
Yeah.
And I just kind of I almost wish that she, made more cameos. She does make one cameo. I saw her once. I don't know if that's the only cameo.
Oh, I didn't see her.
She's in.
I wasn't looking that
She's
closely.
at the end, the final scene when Emily in the movie is heckling him in New York, when they, finally go to New York. You can see her in the back of the comedy club.
Okay.
Yeah, she's sitting in the
I'll
back.
have to look again when I go home.
And there was one scene... Because I didn't notice her at... the first time I saw it, I don't think I noticed. Mm-hmm. And then this time, there was, a weird close-up to someone, and you can kind of see her in the back. And I was like, wait, is that her? And then it showed a bigger thing, and I could see her. Okay. But, I kind of wish...
We got more her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think that's like my only criticism in this whole film.
I'm trying to think of my criticism. I think, okay, so the biggest one that I would relate to, like, my my personal thing is if I was dating somebody, I'm going strictly on the movie.
Yeah. But I also think, like,
if a guy signed for my medical induced coma that I was seeing for 5 months, my mom would have taken a scalpel to his eyeball and would have killed him. I mean, let's be real about that. Like, the split-second decision to put her in a medically induced coma, my mom would just,
Yeah, well, I mean...
let's pray for him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll get into that, like, because I think I kind of like going through chronologically speaking. So, but I just think, like, that's just kind of my overall comment on the movie, is that I think...
I wish their relationship was more fostered in the beginning.
Well, or just that we got to see... just more from her and her
story.
Yeah.
Like, I know she was studying to be a therapist, and that was about it.
And and
she was married before.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Anyway, so after we see this beginning,
the biggest issue that my biggest, like, she's a better woman than I, because if a guy had taken me home and his apartment looked like that and his roommate was weird and he had an inflatable mattress, homegirl would have been running out of there. I would have been like, what is this?
I know. And I get it, like, it's
college.
No, it's not college. She's getting her master's. He's graduated.
Oh, he's just struggling.
He's an adult functioning on his own.
That would have been a big
Which I get, like, I mean, I get it. It's Chicago. Like, you're trying to make it in comedy in Chicago. That's hard. That's fucking hard.
Yeah.
And...
Put a mattress.
Yeah. And, I mean, mattresses are expensive.
Yeah.
However, you're in a 2-bedroom apartment. I feel like you could have afforded a legitimate mattress. Yeah. Hey, like, I'm 28 years old. I've had my own adult bed since 2020.
Yeah.
8 years. I've had the same mattress for those 8 years, and it's on a Hollywood frame. Like, it's not, you know.
Yeah.
Extravagant. I don't have a headboard. Like,
no, I don't have a headboard either.
You know, but I'm like, but also at the same time, like, literally before, and I was thinking about this too, I was literally thinking about the air mattress, but like this, so Haley and I are studying in Scotland.
Yeah.
We're from the U.S. When I left the U.S., I had to sell all of my belongings so I could afford to come here, basically. And one of the things I had to sell was my mattress. And so I borrowed a blow-up air mattress from my aunt and uncle.
But I would never bring anybody home to see that.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I agree. Like, I think I could not be in a relationship with a guy for 5 months and that conversation not come up.
Yes.
Or, like, in her place is so nice.
Yeah.
She lives alone. It is a gorgeous apartment. I'm like, why aren't you staying at your place? Like, why are you there? Like,
yeah.
Anyway.
That was my biggest thing.
That's so funny. I love comedy.
Yeah.
So I love A.D. Bryant and Bo Burnham are, like, they're so great. But also, like, I love their quote-unquote meet cute.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's kind of a meet cute, kind of not. And that's what that's one thing that's crazy to think about. Like, when Harry Met Sally, what we talked about last week, like, that is a rom-com. Yeah. Like, that is a fictional story.
Yeah.
Made up.
Yeah.
This is real. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's not, obviously, I'm sure they took liberties some places. But for the most part,
it's true.
This is their story.
Yeah.
And so I think it's fun to think about that.
Yeah.
In, like, when we think about some of the tropes of a rom-com.
Uh-huh.
So I think this idea of the meet cute.
Yeah. Which also, that doesn't really happen much these days. Like,
I know, I feel like, and that's why I love it, because, like, generally speaking, like, I've gone to comedy shows, and they kind of do a disclaimer where they're like, please don't heckle the comedians, which, I mean, like, is fair. Like, you know, I'm like, but I'm also just a nice person, I like to think, and so I'm like, I would never do that. But I literally wrote down, like, I would not have the balls to heckle anybody. No. Let alone, like, and that's her whole point, is that it's positive. Yeah. She's, like, cheering him on, like, you know, because he says, like, is there anybody from Pakistan here tonight? And nobody says anything, so she's like, woo! You know, she, like, woos him on or whatever, and he's like,
no, you know, from Pakistan.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, that's his commentary. Like, if I would have known, like, if you were in Pakistan, I would have found you. But yeah, I think it's like, yeah, no way. Yeah. I would never
have the balls to do that.
No way.
No. My mom would, but I would not.
Oh, yeah. No, and even, like, I've gone to, like, improv shows, which literally they want you to shout things. Like, they need suggestions from the audience, and I'm still just like, no, please. Let me just blend into this background. Nobody look at me. Like, but yeah. Yeah, and that's, so one other thing, too, is I said, like, I want to know how accurate that meet cute was. Like, how, because I read an article, and I feel like it did say that they did put that in the movie. So I feel like she did
heckle him.
Yeah. But what I liked is that it was like their meet cute was technically that, I guess, but is it also him picking her up at the bar, like, with his
Arabic thing, Urdu or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then the one thing, like, after they sleep together, that was something that bothered me. The reversal of this, like, because he's driving her home, which the whole Uber thing is so funny to me.
I know, I love it.
And then
she literally calls for an Uber, and he, like, answers it right away.
And then, like, she tells him that she doesn't want a relationship right now. And, like, if the roles were reversed, and a guy said that, and a girl kept pursuing, it's kind of perceived as, like, insecure and clingy. As opposed to, like, she told him she doesn't want a relationship, and he's like, challenge accepted. So, like, that kind of thing, it's, like, a little bit unrealistic to me, because if I was dating somebody and they said to me, I don't want a relationship, usually you either stay casual or you walk away. So the fact that he was like, oh, I'm going to keep calling you and we're going to keep hanging out.
Well, but that's the thing. He did want to keep it casual.
Did he, though? Because he seemed...
I mean, his whole thing was that he could never commit to her.
Yeah, but I think the mindset of them was differently. I feel like she wanted it more casual than he did. Well,
yeah. I think he wanted a steady sexual relationship, and she wanted it to be a one-night stand-ish.
Yeah, but the role reversal, if a guy had said that to her... and
no, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. I think... Totally. It is perceived as clingy, needy.
Yeah. And insecure. And then if a guy does it, it's heroic almost. Like romantic almost. Yeah. Yeah. Which is the only thing I had a problem with then.
Yeah. Which is fair. I mean, I think that's a fair commentary.
I was like, okay. And then and then also ties in, I guess, after their second date or whatever, and he walks her home, and she's like, really, like, don't call me. And then he calls her when she's in the corridor. If a girl did that, we'd look psycho, but him, it's cute. So it's kind of like the role reversal of that.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point to bring up.
And also, it just helps that she's attracted to him, because if she wasn't into him, then he's definitely a creeper.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Interesting. But I also love, like, the one thing, like, I love her character so much. Like, I think everything she says, all of the shit that she calls him on, I'm just like, I aspire to be you. Like, I just, oh my God, I literally, like, wrote down, like, I love her calling him out on his bullshit.
The one scene, I wrote down a note.
Well, especially, like, okay, so we kind of talked about the mattress, because she does kind of call him out on it. And I've, like, run into that, like, in college, when you come to someone's, like, room, because generally speaking,
it's a dorm.
If it's a dorm, or it's, like, an apartment, but, like, the shared space no one really goes into, like, or, like, you don't want to, because then your roommates come in, and it's just weird, potentially. And, but that's why I think it's funny that, like, although I will say that I've had experiences like this without it being in college as well.
Okay.
Anyway, but like, yeah, like you go into a space and you're kind of just like, you're in somebody's bedroom and you're like, where do I sit? Where do I put my stuff? So she's like, should I just like put my stuff wherever?
And he's like, I
clean that corner. You can put it right there. And it's just like, oh my God.
That is so funny. I thought that was funny.
No, I think it's fucking hilarious. But at the same time, like me as like a dating woman, I'm like, oh God, like just get your shit together, dude. Like, come on.
I thought the same thing.
At least have a chair. Something off the floor.
Yeah. The other one that I made a note of was on their second date, like when he's showing her the film that he loves and like pushing his...
Oh, yeah.
That is peak me.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yes.
There are aspects of it that are, but there are aspects that I think, and like the real Emily has talked about this in interviews, promoting the movie, that I think are, I feel to my core.
Yeah.
But like before we get into that, just one thing, because like on the first date, his roommate is there and he's like, just don't engage with my roommate. Yes. Like, you know, whatever. So they walk right by him. And the roommate, like, literally, like, starts saying, like, hey, Siri, text Lauren. You up?
Yeah. That's peak mood.
Just
when
like,
you're alone.
Forever alone. Like,
mood.
But yeah, no, I think, oh my God, there's so much of that, just that first date that I loved so much. Like, like, the whole changing under the blanket thing is, like, I love, and he's like, he literally says, like, what is happening here? Like, I've seen everything. Remember, we were just having sex. And
she's like, it was in the throes of passion. I'm like, yes, that's me.
Yes, and it's like, it's so, oh my God, I just love that so much, because it is. Like, it's like, no, you can't look at me now.
No,
like,
we're done.
Yeah, no, I need to get dressed alone.
Plus, their witty banter is something that I really aspire to in relationships. One of my key, like, top 3 personality traits that are non-negotiable is being funny and being able to, like, go back and forth. Because if you can't do that and you take it too literally, it's never going to work.
No.
Sarcasm is a huge part of my life. It is my
second language.
Yes.
It's my second language.
Yes. You have to be able to, like, come back at it with me, because if not, then I grow very bored of you very fast.
Yes. No, and I love the dialogue. Like, there's just so, like, half of my notes are quotes. Like, like, the whole, like, you see, like, she says, like, I'm not really dating right now, like, because she's in the back of the Uber after the first date. And then he's like, well, like, you know, I can't see you after 2 days anyway, as his, like, 2-day rule. Yeah. And she's like, you see, like, I can't date time nerds. Yeah. And I'm just like, I just love their conversation. Like, it's so great.
The other one that was that, for me, like, when people are obsessed with things, with the exception of sports, like, I find it very attractive in men, especially when they are passionate about something. Like, it doesn't matter what it is to me, as long as it's not sports. If it's sports, we're not gonna work. But, like, if you are into, like, light installation, like, art, and you want to, like, show me this creation that you made and you're really passionate about it, like, I will get on board with that. But it has to be 2 ways. Like, because I'm a very big believer in, like, we don't have to have everything in common. Yeah. But you have to take an interest in mine, and I will take an interest in yours.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So I was like, when he's showing it to her, and he's, like, super into it, like, that would be very attractive to me. Like, he's pushing something that he likes onto me that he wants me to like so desperately because he likes me. So, like, that would be very attractive to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, I mean, like, I will say I enjoy sports. Ugh. So I am not a... I mean, I will say I'm not a fan of football. Like, I would rather scoop my eyes out with a melon baller than...
I'll go to baseball games, but mostly for the popcorn and the nachos. Like, I go to the sports events for the greasy food and beer.
Mean, it's fair. That's fair. No, like, I enjoy sports. So I would be down. I mean, generally my top 3 are baseball, hockey,
I'd go to
basketball,
a hockey game too.
Other than that, ugh. But, you know, whatever. Like, but that's my thing is, like, if my significant other is super into a sport or, like, a team or, like, anything, like, I will support that.
Same.
Like, as long as they're... I grew up in San Francisco, Bay Area sports is, you know, big. But, like, for me, my two teams are the San Francisco Giants and the San Jose Sharks. Okay. So, like, for me, I have dated a Dodger fan. Did not work out. Like, but for me, and I also, like, am not a big Yankees fan. I really don't like the Yankees. But also they're American League, and that's not real baseball. That's my hot take. How many people did I just offend? I don't know. But, like, for me, though, I would be willing to, like, still watch and go to those games. Yeah. But you best believe I'm going to be shit-talking you the whole time. Yeah. And you better be ready for it, and you better be able to, like, dish it just as much as you take it. Like,
yeah, I mean, we have to, I'm, like, a big believer in if we have, like, 2 or 3 shared common interests, that's fine. If you are completely opposite from me, the only, I'm going to make an amendment to that rule. The exception would be, which is awful to say because you shouldn't be like this, but their political stance is a big issue for me, too. I don't think I could date someone who's radically different than my...
I don't think I could do radically different. I could do
slight differences. There. Slight. Like, if there are certain political topics that we don't agree on, that's fine. But if you are, like, you know, like... you know, not to get super political, but if you're completely different than mine, I can't get on board with that. So sports... Yeah. But, like, if you like weird stuff, like, if you want to do, like... macrame or whatever, we'll do it, bud.
I love it how yours is like, so what men are you meeting that are like, let's make some macrame? I don't even know what that is.
Like, I don't either. I just, the first thing that came to mind.
we're gonna make some, like, dried macaroni art. That's what
but,
brings
like, weird
me joy.
Stuff. Like, if he was into weird stuff, that's fine, but, like...
Yeah, I think, but I mean, to me, I am such an obsessive nerd that, like... I am into so many things, so many TV shows, so many movies, like, so many nerdy things. I'm a big fat nerd. And they have to be
a dog person. Like, if they don't like dogs, then we have a problem, too.
True.
3 things, then.
I mean, yeah, I have a fur son, and he needs to be willing to, become a fur dad. But... I'm a crazy dog lady.
Yes.
No, yeah.
But like, the obsession thing, I find really attractive.
And I think, same. I think
as long as you're passionate about something.
Yes.
If you have no passions and you're just like a log, then I can't get on board with that. No. You have to be passionate.
No. And I mean, I would say, like, I would hope that there is some shared interest. Yeah. Like, I don't... But I also think, like you said, like, I would hope that they would be into what you're into. Mm-hmm. And I do too. However, I do think it's really healthy to have your own interests and to have your own hobbies and whatnot. To
do something separate.
Yeah, and that's okay. If you're not into baseball. Yeah. I'm fine with that. Yeah. Like, you know.
You do you, and I'll tell you about it, and you just have to be a good listener if I'm, like, excited about it and I want to tell you.
Yeah.
No.
But, and I think so, what I was saying is, because we're talking about the scene where he's showing her a movie that he's like, and he's like, I love it that he's just, like, watching her watch it.
That is me.
It's the same. Like, there are things that I, like, there are movies I've made you watch that I'm like, let's talk about it. We'll get that later in the podcast. But yeah, like, there are things that because I'm a very obsessive person.
Same.
Like, I am very passionate. And so... when I really love someone and I meet a friend or a significant other who I really care about and I want to share these things with them, and because I love them so much, I know that they probably won't love them as much as I will love them, and that's totally fine. But I like the idea of, like, I want to know what they think about it.
Yeah, same.
And so, to me, I don't think I would, like, stand there and stare. Although, I did make you watch Blue Iguana with me.
Yeah.
And there were parts where I was like, do you like it? But there, you know, I think I usually am not the kind that's, like, just going to sit there and watch you watch it. I, like, am more like, actually, I don't want to see your reaction because it makes me too nervous. And I'm like, oh my God, what if you hate it? Like, I don't want to, you know. But I love, like, for her, though, she was just like, oh my God, like, this, I love her reaction to it. Yeah. Just being like, there's that thing, like, that boring movies make me do, and it's yawn.
And see, it's also that thing, also, like, tying it back to our first podcast, was with, like, she doesn't like it, and she's communicating it to him in a fun way, where it's not, like, downgrading him about it.
It's the worst fucking movie I've ever seen.
Yeah,
she's
just,
saying, like,
joking.
wow, like, this is, you know, that thing that boring movies make me do.
Yeah.
And they make me yawn. That's, you know.
So it's not, like, making fun of the stuff. It's
totally.
Actually, yeah.
Well, and I think, too, and this is, I watched an interview. I feel like I watched an interview, as opposed to have read one, with Emily B. Gordon, who is the Emily of the story. And she describes, like, you know, she always dated nerds. And I'm in a fantasy literature master's. Like, I am a nerd. I am surrounded by nerds. And there is a general trope that women who are into nerdy things get mansplained to about nerdy things.
Yeah. I've heard that
all
before.
the time. Like, we'll never know as much as men with nerdy things. And that's bullshit. Me personally, I don't know shit. So, like, chances are, if you're into something nerdy, you probably know more than me.
Yeah.
But I love it. And we'll talk about it, whatever. But yeah, I do appreciate that she made the commentary that, like, sometimes when you date nerds and they show you something, they just kind of assume that you don't appreciate it as much as they do, or they assume that you haven't seen it before. And you're like, this is a quintessential nerd thing. Yeah. Of course I've seen it. Of course I know about it. Like, you know. What I think is interesting, though, is, so, Kumail is obsessed with the X-Files, and they talk about it.
Yeah, they do. A couple times. But
it's always with the Pakistani women that his parents are trying to set him up, and it's never with Emily. Yeah. And so I think that that's interesting. Like,
maybe that she doesn't like it or something.
Maybe, but I feel like that would have been...
Pakistani girl makes fun of it, says it's stupid.
Well, yeah, but that was, like, I think it was more out of anger, like, that he was shutting her down. Yeah. But, like,
I think so, too.
I'm just surprised, and maybe this could have been, like, a total, like, movie rights thing that maybe they couldn't have shown an episode. Yeah. Maybe, or, I don't know, you know? But I think that was a point that I was like, wow, like, they've made a point to explain how much into the show he is. Like, that was so grammatically, like, a fucked sentence. But, like, he's really into the X-Files, and they made a point to show that, and yet...
She doesn't.
Yeah. Which, I mean, is fine. Like, it is, you know.
There was another one after that. After they showed it, when they started dating and they were doing, like, their little romantic montage. The one after, I think it was after the montage. And it's so peak me that it's painful. Like, when she has to go to the bathroom. Oh, my God. She wants to go to the diner. That is me.
So, here's my thing. So, I have a very adamant, I don't know how to phrase this. Like, I have a philosophy about going to the bathroom around your significant other. Like, I firmly believe that you are not in a relationship. You cannot say that you're in a relationship until you can openly talk about bodily functions with your significant other. And that includes... like, around them, and also, like, obviously, like, okay, like, I just mean, like, you should be able to talk about it. Yeah. Everybody fucking poops. Yeah. Like, everybody poops. It's a thing that happens. Everybody farts. Get over it. Like, you know what I mean? And so, to me, it's like, you cannot be truly comfortable.
Until you do it.
And so, I love that this... scene exists in this movie, because that is a firm philosophy that I have had for years, and I love it so much, because I'm like, yes, now they are in a relationship. Like, they have had this conversation, she's experienced this thing, like, and it's bonding. To me, it's total bonding, because it is something that's stupidly not discussed. Yeah. With people. Like, no, you know, like, no one
talks. That's me, though. I'm like, no, I need to go to the McDonald's around the corner. Like, give me your pants. I'm gonna go put those on and go.
I mean, I think, like, it would take me a while to feel that way. To, like, it does. And it does. Yeah. It takes me a while to feel open enough to do that. But I do... I appreciate...
them bringing it up.
Yeah. I love that. I love it so much.
And I love when she, like, goes back to her place and she walks down the steps and she's like, don't look at me. And I'm like, that's me. Like, don't look at me ever again.
Oh, my God. Well, okay, so this is what I couldn't figure out. Did she make him go outside while she pooped?
Yes. So he was sitting her apartment, I think.
No, I don't think it was her apartment. The front of it looks different.
Oh.
Because I remembered it. I remembered that scene from the first time I had seen it.
It might have been his place.
I think she made him go outside so that she could poop in his apartment. And I just think that's so, to me, that's so funny because, like, me. I mean, when I am in a relationship and I'm comfortable with the person, like I said, like, obviously, I don't even consider it a relationship until we, like, can talk about it. Yeah. But, like, obviously I get, like, people are nervous about pooping in another room while their significant other or, like, the person that they're dating.
Me.
And I get that. I do. But at the same time, like, you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, you know what I mean? And I just think, like... I don't think I would ever send him outside. I would just be like maybe, like... Watch a movie. Put some headphones in. But at the same time, like, when I'm in an established relationship, like, I don't give two shits, literally. Pun intended, about whether you can hear me poop or not. But also, like...
I don't even do it when, like, relatives come over. Like, it's such a serious issue with me. And I know if my mom hears this podcast, she's gonna laugh. Like, I get such bladder bodily fluid shy. Like, if I know that I have to go to the doctor to, like, get a UTI test and I have to pee, I will drink 7 Cokes to make sure that I go, because it's like I get so shy. And I remember I went there and I had just peed before I left and I had some infection and they were like, okay, you gotta pee, and I'm like, to test if I'm pregnant. And I'm like, I'm gonna need 50 of those, like, string of nurses bringing the water to me. And I literally had 3 bags of fluid and I would not pee because it's just, I get such bladder shy.
That's so funny.
It is, like, a real issue. And it's like, if I have to be so comfortable with a man.
So have you ever, like, gotten to the stage in a relationship where you could, like, pee in front of somebody?
No.
No. Wow.
No. I don't even pee in front of my mom or sister.
Oh my God. Like, no, my family is fucked up. First of all, let me just say that right now. Like, my parents were very open people.
Same with my mom, but I'm not. So my mom is, but I'm not.
Yeah, and there are some aspects, like, oh my God. Like, my family is just weird. I will not share it on the podcast so I don't embarrass my family, but there's just some shit.
See, my mom will, but I will not.
We are very open about that sort of thing, and so for me... Obviously, there's a point in a relationship
where you get there,
Yeah. I would not do this on date, like, 3. Not even, no. Like, yeah, no, it would be a significant amount of time. But I, like, in previous relationships, I have gone to the bathroom in front of a significant other. I have no problem with it whatsoever.
I just feel like that should be separate. Unless, like, I have food poisoning and I'm dying and I need you to, like, airlift me.
When I'm sick, I'm like, no, leave me alone. Like, don't look.
No, I remember there was an interview, like, just to get off topic first, with Amy Schumer, before she met her husband. Mm-hmm. She was on a date, or she went on a romantic getaway to Paris with her then boyfriend. Uh-huh. And they both had gotten food poisoning from the food. And she was, like, violently ill from both ends. And I remember her saying, like, this was, like, their first, like, introduction to their bathroom. And she just looked at him and was like, it's okay if you want to leave me. Like, leave me. And I remember, like, that's me. Like, oh, like, just the thought. I would just...
Yeah, like, I think
I would have to be very comfortable. Like, I don't even know, like, married. I would have to be very, very comfortable with you. Or I'm dying. Or literally dying.
Because, to me, it's, like, everybody does it. And, like, but I also, like, so, I'm lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
I'm gluten-free. Like, I'm gluten intolerant, I should say. And so, there's just some stuff that I cannot eat.
Yeah.
Or else things happen. Yeah. And so, like, I just, to me, I am also one of those people that I know I'm not supposed to eat these things, but I love cheese. Yeah. And, like, same. I can live without bread, like, whatever. But, like...
Oh, not me.
Like, cheese, though, like, I mean, and I do like cheese pizza. It's, like, my downfall. And so, like, there's just, I don't know. To me, I don't care enough.
Oh, I do.
But I'm, like, yeah.
It's just the it doesn't even matter if it's a boyfriend, like
even friends.
Oh yeah.
Like, you've never,
like, do you know how much panic it gave me, like, to go to London with everybody, and I was like, what if I have to go to the bathroom? Like, I can pee. Peeing is fine, but like,
oh my God, no, I
two.
I don't even care.
No,
because everybody does it, and
I
also,
know, but it's just like,
it's also
first
like
get away with people.
Very
this
true.
Is the impression that I make.
I guess. I guess. I mean, I think you are not the only person.
No,
like, people are probably like, this chick is crazy. Like me, like she's insane. Like, what's wrong with her? But like, I just think like, I really don't care. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Do you know what I think it is? Is like, my family is like, even growing up as a kid, my family like would rib, like they love to mock, and because I'm so sensitive, like I would be a kid and I'd walk out and my dad would go, whoa! And like as I would leave,
like the Ace Ventura, do not go in there.
So it's like that kind of stuff probably scarred me, and it's like childhood trauma. But no, that scene is just like such a
well, and I do get like I do appreciate that she's less concerned with the fact that she has to poop and more concerned with the fact that she can't cover up the smell.
Yes.
Which I get. Like, I think that's fair.
There's no
like,
Febreze.
she's like, who doesn't have air freshener? Like, I get that. Like, that's fair. And I think, like, like, because, like, in hotel rooms that have, like, the bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, like, I'm talking, like, the hotel room that you open up, the bathroom's, like, right in the front.
Yeah.
And then the room. There's, like, and there's not airflow in there. You can never open the windows. No. So I do get, like, there are some people that will go to the bathroom down in the lobby.
Yeah.
Because there's no airflow. Like, you can't.
And especially if it's, like, a first romantic getaway, like, it's a mood killer to me.
Nah.
No?
No, because to me, it's, like, I think I would get the insecurity of it, and I could appreciate that, but, like, if I'm at the point where, like, we're going away.
Like, it's fine?
Yeah. Because that would imply that I've already, like, been spending nights with this person, like, so I just would expect it to be, but I would, like, get some air freshener.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That'd be in my bag.
Yeah. Or, like, just carry around that, like, have you, like, used that, like, poo-pourri stuff?
Yes, I got it for my sister.
That
for
stuff
Christmas.
is fucking amazing.
Is it?
Like, it is the best invention that, like, so, my previous career, I was a teacher.
Yeah.
We have one staff bathroom, and, and teachers pump their bodies full of coffee. And so, all day, every day. And so our staff bathroom had that, and it was just...
brilliant.
The best thing ever. It works so well. It works
and
so much better than, like...
it's not super strong, so it's not gonna, like, kill your sinuses.
To me, I think there's something about, like, adding it to water, like essential oils, you know what I mean? That, like, it makes it aromatic more than, like, just spraying that covers the top. Yeah. Anyway, this conversation took a fun... We are 30 minutes in and talking... Poop. About poop, and I love it.
There was one question that I posed.
I literally, my note is my philosophy on bathroom talk.
Mine is, okay, so I guess the biggest theme for this movie was dating of different religion and cultures.
And that's literally my...
next one.
Yep.
So have you ever, or could you ever?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes, I could. So...
Was it as drastic as, like, dating someone who was a Muslim to non-Muslim?
Well, I would say it... I mean, it was drastic in the sense that, like, the culture was very different and, like... well, okay. So, I think... how do I phrase this? So... No, yes and no. Yeah. Like, it was still a big cultural shift, but it wasn't to the point where, like, in their belief system did they, like, because I wasn't the same religion.
Okay.
So basically, like, my high school boyfriend is Filipino.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We are no longer dating. Yeah. I hate the was, because if I say was Filipino, it implies that he's no longer Filipino. Yeah. Anyway, so and he and his family were Catholic, and I'm not religious at all.
Yeah.
I'm not baptized. My family did not grow up in a church or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, he would go to mass on Sundays with his family.
Yeah.
His mom was, and like his grandparents lived with his family, which is a big part of their culture is
family.
Yeah, family and taking care of family.
Yeah.
And they would have like massive family parties because they all live around each other.
Yeah.
There's a massive food, like everything is food related.
Yeah.
And so there were definitely parts of that because like, so my family grew up because of my dad's job. We had to move away from where the majority of like my extended family lived. Mm-hmm. So mainly just my immediate family was very, very close.
Okay.
But we didn't do a lot with our extended family just because it involved so much travel. Mm-hmm. Whereas his extended family all lived around the same area. Okay. I think the farthest away, like he had cousins that lived in a town 30 minutes from us. Okay. And that was like as far as it, you know. And so on holidays and on birthdays and things like that, like they would get together and and even like just like some random weekends, they would have like a massive family party. Mm-hmm. So for me, that idea of like extended family, that really only happens like once a year for me. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that it was like every other weekend, you know, that was a big difference, like cultural difference. And so I think, but I love it because like to me, like family is everything. Yeah. Like I love my family. We are very close. We do all of our holidays. Like we have a lot of holiday traditions. We do it all together. We try to at least every 4th of July, my family throws a huge barbecue, and we have for years. Like every year growing up, we would have a massive 4th of July barbecue, and all of our family gets together. And so I love family, and I really value it. And so for me, I could totally
get on board with that part.
Get on board with that.
Yeah.
But what I would hesitate with is, like, if for whatever reason our families, like, couldn't be joined.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Like meshing of them, yeah.
Yeah, or, like, in the sense where, like, I mean, later on in the movie, his family essentially, like, cuts him out at one point. So, like, I think for me, in, like, part of what Emily says, like, I'm kind of I'm going
ahead
of the part we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
But when she says, like, I can't be the reason that you don't have a family, I totally feel that.
Yeah.
And, like, to me, like, for religion, like I said, I'm not a religious person. I don't really, I'm spiritual, but I don't really like the idea of organized religion. Same. I like the cultural aspects of religion. I love the cultural aspects of religion. Let's get together on religious holidays, eat the food, like like be with family.
Yes, same.
Do that. But I think
that's me too.
When it comes to, like, if you want me to all of a sudden, like, start praying to a God that I don't believe in, or, like, if the second you try to change me, that's where I'm like, it to me it's more of the structural religious aspects than the cultural religious aspects. So, like, for instance, I know based on an interview, Kumail's family got on board in the end as long as they got married. Okay. So, like, for me, I would be willing to do that.
Same.
Yeah, but I just, and so for them it was this idea of, like, you can't live with each other until you're married, or, like, you can't, you know, you need to be in a committed relationship as opposed to, like, just casual dating, whatever. But, yeah, I think, for instance, like, I think, I don't know, one of the more common religions that don't celebrate the same holidays is, like, Jewish
Judaism
versus, like, I grew up mostly Christian. Like, I celebrate Christmas. So I am 100% on board with celebrating Jewish holidays. So long as you can also be on board still celebrating Christmas. Because Christmas is really the only religious holiday. So, like, I don't do Easter. Like,
oh, we do.
No.
Yeah, mine's
I can buy Reese's any other time of the year. I don't need the egg-shaped ones.
Oh, it's the best ones, though. I don't know. It depends. Like, because, like, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. Like, I mean, I grew up and I went to a Catholic church on Christmas and Easter, and my mom she doesn't identify as Catholic, but she believes in a lot of, like, she's more Lutheran than Catholic. So she still believes in, like, you know, the story of Jesus and everything like that, which I do too. I enjoy the stories that come from religion, from my, like, reading storyteller background, but I do also like the stories of, like, from Islam, and I like the Judaism stories and Moses and all that. But I think where the big difference would come is, like, raising our children too. Like, if I have kids with you, how are we going to raise them? Yeah, that's interesting. Like, are we going to raise them, like, Jewish or Christian, or how are we going to...
I think for me, like, because my culture is just, like, white Anglo-Saxon, like, okay, so if I had a Jewish husband, like, and he wanted to raise our kids Jewish, I'm 100% down. Like, but also, to me, it's, like, I get that it's more of, like, a cultural thing. Yeah. And so I'm down with that aspect. Again, like, how much of the religious practices, like, again, like, don't expect me to pray
with you all the time.
Or, like, abide by religious doctrine that I don't agree with. Yeah. But when we talk about, like, the cultural things and, like, language, like, 100%. Like, if you know, if I was dating someone who is Pakistani and they were speaking Urdu and they wanted to teach their kids Urdu, that's fine. 100%. Yeah. Awesome. Like, totally. But to me, it's more like I would not want to be praying to...
Or also, like,
an entity that I don't believe in.
With some of, like, the Catholic beliefs, like the abortion beliefs and, like, the gay marriage beliefs, like, I couldn't get on board with some of that. No. So the beliefs of that would be hard for me. But I could totally date somebody from, like, different cultures and stuff. It would just... Again, going back to communication is, like, key. Yep. And also, I think sometimes people don't ask, like, those really serious questions, like, before you get married. Like, how are we going to raise the kids? Yeah. How are we going to get married? Are we going to get married at a church, or can we get married, like, by the ocean? Like, you have to talk about those, like, key things. Yeah. And I'm not afraid to ask those questions. I'm that person who's like, so what do you think about the kid situation here?
Yeah. I mean, to me, it depends on... I'm not afraid to have those conversations before marriage, but I think...
Not like 2 months in. No.
Yeah. No.
TikTok.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I do think it's interesting. And I think... But to me, again, it all just comes down to, like, I don't like going to church.
I'm not a huge church person, too. I mean, we go for Christmas and Easter, but it's mostly just for, like, a celebration of, like, the day and all of that. And, to me, to give thanks for the year and kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like, I love the architecture of a cathedral. Yeah. But I don't...
My mom enjoys it.
I'm just not religious. And so, as long as that... is not an issue, then I'm fine. Like, it really, like, and especially because I do find that in a lot of cultures, family is a bigger thing. Yes. And I love that. Yeah. And that's what really is more attractive to me, is this idea of
the closeness of a family.
Yeah, and to doing things together with extended family, because, like, I didn't really get that as a kid, and I missed out seeing my friends and experiencing it. And so, I think the hesitation is I would want to make sure that my kids get both families. Mm-hmm. So as long as that can happen. Fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I could agree with that too. That was my note on that.
Yeah, same.
Oh, and there was another one after they have that fight. There's nothing that I hate worse in an argument, because he throws some pretty hurtful things back at her.
Did I write that down?
When they're arguing and he throws the things at her, and I'm just like, these hurtful comments that are so below the belt that I cannot, because
I didn't write any of them down. Did you write any of them down?
No, but, like, saying, shouldn't you be more in control of your emotions because you're going to be a therapist?
Oh, yeah.
And I remember... Like,
let me drop kick you across.
Because when I fight with people and I argue with people, I am generally somebody who can compose themselves very well when I argue. I never fly off the handle or say hurtful comments. So when somebody comes back at me and says something that is more hurtful than I have previously said to you, or something that I said to you in, like, confidence and, like, support, and you come back and throw it at me, my gloves will come off.
Well, and I think,
because I'm a very leveled arguer. Like, I don't usually argue. I communicate. Forcefully.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I think we talked about this on the last podcast, but, like, I can sometimes lose my head. Like, I will boil over. Yeah. And I can say some pretty fucked up shit. And so, and generally speaking, I try to control myself. Yeah, I try not to do things like that. Because I think that comment in particular is really unfair.
Yeah.
And has nothing to do with what a therapist does.
No.
Like,
she's allowed to be emotional.
And that's what she says, is she's like, I'm expressing myself emotionally. Yeah. That's literally what therapy is for.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it's, I think for him in that scene, to me, it's he's finally caught. Yeah. And he's getting defensive. Yeah. And his way of getting defensive is to put his claws up and put the blame on her so that it's not on him anymore when it's 100% on him. Yeah. But yeah, so I think...
then, like, me personally, I would have been like, okay, but you're still sleeping on an air mattress. Like, I'm getting my PhD and you're on an air mattress. Like, that's how petty I get.
She's getting her master's.
But you have to have a PhD to be a therapist, right?
No, you don't.
You don't?
Uh-uh.
Oh, well, she's going to be a therapist and he's sleeping on an air mattress. Like, yes. After you hit below the belt, my gloves will come off. Oh, but if we can keep it leveled, I will never hit you below the belt. But the moment you do, I'm like, strap in. Yeah. I'm going to take all of your insecurities and throw them at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a note. And then what was the other one I made after that?
I mean, so for me, the next note...
moving into, like, the family. Okay,
so basically, after this massive fight...
Yeah.
Is when, essentially, she gets
sick
into the coma. Yeah. So, you had said early on that if someone you had dated for 5 months, because again,
in the movie
5 months. And so here's the other thing, too, that I think is crazy to me that I could never do, is be with someone for 5-8 months and not tell my family.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Because to me, that's about the time when you're spending so much of your time with each other. Like, yes. You're staying multiple nights a week with each other, probably. Like, it's progressing.
Yes.
Like, and if it's that serious, there's no way in hell my family wouldn't know. And that's where I think I sympathize a lot with her frustration.
Yeah, because she
tells her family everything.
Yeah.
And she wanted him to meet her family potentially weeks before this, right?
Yeah.
And so to not only see that you have a box full of photos of Pakistani women, and that on top of it your parents don't
know about. No. Yeah. No, but also it ties into the fact, like, people could still be seeing each other because it doesn't seem like they really put a label on that relationship. So it's kind of like they still seemed like they're hanging out together, but they were kind of casual at the same time still.
Well, and I think that's part of the challenge of this movie.
Yeah.
Is that I think that they were more serious, and it's just that the movie didn't
portray
it as
okay.
But I think that montage was kind of to show you, like, when she's like kicking him on the couch, like
which is me.
Oh, same. But yeah, like, I think that was to kind of show, and they're grocery shopping together. Like, there's, and I think the fact that, like, she's invites him to see meet her parents, that shows that she's feeling like it's that's serious.
But he wasn't projecting it as
no, because he knew that it would never happen. Yeah.
And then moving right from that breakup to the medical scene is, like, dramatic.
Heavy. So yeah, my big question is what the hell would you do in that situation? You've been dating someone for 5 months. You just break up. Somebody calls you and says they're in the hospital. They think it's the flu. Can you go and be there with them? What do you do?
Okay, so what I would do, I would definitely go.
Same.
I would go 100% if they didn't have, like, her family obviously wasn't there with her. They lived in that other city. So I would 100% go and just check on them. But I would go, but then I would, because she was still awake when he got there.
Yeah.
So I would ask her to write down her family's phone number if I didn't know it. Like, I remember he was like, what's her number? And he, like, looked at her phone. He's like, sorry. And he, like, used that. I would have her give me that number and call
But
them.
at the same time, at this point, they think it's the flu.
Yeah, but then the moment I would get it before, just in case, because as soon as that, then it was the medically induced coma. So
but
I would still get that number.
I feel like you're basing that judgment on the fact that you know she's going to be in a coma. If you just go into a hospital to be with this person and they think that it's the flu, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even think that.
Them if
to me, I'm like, they're going to pump you full of fluids for the night and then you're going to be released in the morning.
I would still say, how about you call your mom and just let her know you're here? Like, that's very a me thing and my mom thing. Like, the moment I go past a hospital threshold, like, I texted her and I gave her when I first got here and I went to the hospital for strep. I gave her Hannah's number because that's who took me. So that way she would be able to contact her. So, like, I am very... Hospitals to me are scary as hell. So I'm very, like, the moment I cross that threshold, like, my mom needs to know what's going on. Like, this is such a weird thing to bring up. But, like, I remember when I went to travel and lived in Paris, and it was right before the Paris terror attacks. And I remember thinking, like, in that situation, I wouldn't even care if I'd, like, gotten hurt or anything. Like, my only thought would be, like, I need a phone to tell my mom that I'm alive. Like, that would be me. So I probably would have said, did you call your mom or dad? And then if she said no, then I would say, well, why don't you just give them a quick call? Or, like, give me their number and I'll give them a call.
I just think, like, for me,
and she looked
I would
like
not
shit
bother...
Too.
Well, she did. But, I mean, like, again, they
That's
think it's the flu.
Yeah.
They think it's the flu. You look like shit on the flu. You're barfing. There's diarrhea. Like, you're not in...
Your best.
You look like shit.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, I would 100% go. I would be there, and I'd be with the person. To me, I think I would probably... Like, I think... What's hard in this situation is she was not prepared to see him. Yeah. So it's like her friend didn't even tell her, like, I'm calling. So I think that that's a little bit problematic. And also, like, so she's been really hurt by him, and he's there. And so for her, she's just kind of like, go home. Yeah. And so I think, like, if my ex was like, actually, no, I think I would stay. Because, like, I'm like, you're sick. I'm going to stay. Like, I'm just going to stay. We're going to, whatever. You don't have to see me. I'll be in the waiting room. Like, but I'm going to be here because...
You have nobody else.
Yeah. And so, I would do that too. And so I think then he immediately gets pulled out of the room. She's been, basically, she goes from the ER to an actual ICU. Room. Yeah. But no, she's not in the ICU yet. She's just in a room, and then the doctor pulls him aside and is like, are you her husband?
My mom
The second, but here's the thing.
The second that happened, I would have called.
That doctor, no. The second that doctor started saying, like, she needs to be in a medically induced coma. Yeah. Like, there's no time. Like, I trust the doctor to know that this needs to happen right now. Yeah. And, like, I would do that. I would totally sign the form.
Yeah, my mom would just be
pissed. You know, that's fine. Deal with me. Like, but I mean, I'm gonna call at that point. I'm gonna call because it's no longer the flu. It's serious. When I've been thinking it's the flu. Yeah. Now it's serious, but I would hope that after 5 months, I know my significant other's passcode, or I know and have met
a phone number or something.
Their parents, so that and also, I don't know. Yeah, so it's just like, at that point, I would hope that I would.
And she's right. Like, I remember when they were in their fight scene, and she's like, there's so many red flags. Like, I never met his family or his friends or his brother. Like, if I'm at least 3 to 4 months in, they've met at least my sister. Maybe not my mom, but they've met my sister at least. Yeah. So, I mean, that kind of thing is, you know. So, but
yeah.
It's just hard because I know that if a guy that I was seeing for a couple months had signed, my mom would just be like, ballistic.
I don't know what my parents would have done.
My mom would be ballistic.
I think, honestly, they would have been able to conceptualize the fact that this medical shit happens quickly.
Yeah, it does.
And I think they would have been more appreciative that this person was willing to
It's
do
the
this.
signing saying he's the husband. My mom would be like, what the fuck?
But because that's the only, you're next of kin. That's who makes the decision. Yeah. She can't make the decision for herself. Yeah. So that's why he did that.
Yeah.
And so, to me, again, it's showing the seriousness of this medical emergency.
Yeah.
That I would and you best believe if that were the case, like, I would not have left that hospital too.
No,
like at that point, like
I would be calling as soon as they put her in. I'd take her phone. But also, I guess what would make me mad is the fact that she didn't put their emergency contact down. I'm just like,
yeah, I feel like that's like
a big gap for me. I'm like, my mom is my emergency contact. The same with my sister. All of them. I
mean, my mom is number 1. My dad is number 2.
Yeah,
like so if you cannot reach her, you're gonna reach him.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, so that was the one thing. Let me see what else I wrote. Yeah, and then moving into, like, their family dynamic. Like, the moment he comes in and the mom is there and she's so cold, like, that is my mom. Like, the whole movie, Holly Hunter is, like, my mom to a T.
I love Holly. Holly Hunter does such an amazing job in this movie.
She's like, he comes in, he's like, I'm Camille. And she's like, I know who you are. I'm like, that is my mom. Oh.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I don't know what my parents would... I honestly feel like my parents would be very thankful, and then they would be like, you can go now.
My favorite is when she's like, you can go. And he's like, I'm just going to sit over here. And then she's like this. Oh, like, that is my mom.
And then he turns and is like, is that lady still staring at me?
Like, it's my mom to a T.
Yeah. And
also, she's also getting the first win that, recently that he had that box full of, like, women's pictures. So it's, from her perspective, like, it's completely justified.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah. And I think, like, but also the mom says, my daughter tells me everything. Yeah. But you don't really know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's also just kind of, and at the same time, I think at that point, I just wouldn't, I don't know. I don't know if I would still be in the hospital if the family, like, really didn't want me there.
I would leave. I would 100% leave.
I feel like I would leave, but, like, I also would want updates.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't just...
leave.
Yeah.
I would probably leave for the day if they first got there, and then I'd come back, like, every morning and be like, how's it going? But I wouldn't stay. Yeah. I would feel like my place doesn't belong there since we split, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would... Yeah, I don't
But to me, like, I just think, like, 5 months is a significant amount of time that I might.
It would depend on the relationship.
And that's why I think it's so hard.
Still at 5 months, then no.
And that's why I think I wish that we got more from Emily in the beginning, because it isn't clear how serious they were.
Yeah, because it still seemed casual to me. I mean, she was hanging out, but the fact that he wasn't into meeting the family still suggests that he was still thinking it was casual and she was moving forward.
Yeah. Or just, but to me, there's a difference between casual and not yet at that point. You know what I mean?
Kind of.
Because you can be in a relationship that's not casual.
Yes, but
that's a committed relationship, but not ready to meet parents.
Yeah.
And so, to me, again, I just don't think... I wish it was a little bit clearer just in that aspect.
Yeah.
But, I mean, honestly, like, the fact is he did stay.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. Like, if you feel...
responsible.
Like, not even responsible, but, like, to me, it's just so awkward that, like, I would be just self-conscious.
Yeah.
But I love it that Kumail is not. Like, he totally feels that awkwardness, and he just rolls with it, and I love it. Like, like, the whole, like, what is it? What did I write? The good kind of coma?
Yeah.
Like, so there's, like, 2 kinds of comas. There's a bad coma and there's a good coma. Like, I think this is the good coma. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, stop saying the word
mom,
coma.
Like, is just, like, looking at him like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. But, yeah, I think, like, so then I think there's 8 days. I know in real life it was 8 days that she was in the coma.
Okay.
I don't know how long it's supposed to be in the movie.
It seems like a week almost.
I think, yeah, like about a week probably.
Yeah.
So I think what's so interesting then is to just be thrown into this family dynamic with no
background info at all.
Yeah. And part of me loves it that they just kind of accept him right away. And, like, because, like, they're there that day. And by lunch that day, they've kind of just been like, okay, you're part of us now.
On,
like, yeah, come on.
And
like,
also, it's just a support, you know? Like, your daughter's in a coma, and this is a guy who she spent 5 months really seriously with. So, I mean, an insight into her is kind of nice, too.
Yeah, and I do... And it was also, like, I did appreciate when they go back to her apartment.
Yeah.
And he, like, goes into her room, and does he hide a pipe?
No, he was looking at her pictures of them.
No, next to the cigar box, he doesn't open it yet. I swear he grabs a pipe. I should have rewound and, like, looked at it.
No.
But, like, little things like that where I would appreciate someone I'm dating that's gonna hide the things I don't want my family to see.
Yeah.
There's not a lot.
Yeah, same.
There's really nothing. But, like, still I would hope that they would understand that before people come into my place, I want things to look
a certain way.
Yeah, and especially, like, I would expect that my parents would sleep in my bed.
Yeah.
And so I would want
everything to look nice.
Yeah. Even if it's just, like, straightening the duvet and, like, making the bed, you know, like, putting clothes off the floor.
Yeah.
Like, things like that I would hope someone I was with for that long would know, or at least, like, think about to do. I did appreciate, like, that aspect.
Yeah.
Even though, like, the parents are basically like, well, the mom is like, let me get my laptop. I'm going to Google everything that we just learned. And the dad is like, I need to get out of here. Yeah. Like, we
got to go.
Yeah. And I don't even know what my parents would do in that situation. Like, I would love... No, I wouldn't. This is a weird way to put it.
My mom
I would be really interested to, like, be a fly on the wall in this scenario with
your family?
My family and my significant other.
I feel like my mom would be the Googler. She would be the Googler who would sit there, and she's also the one who would be... Like, my mom has 2 very different sides. Like, she has her very tough side, where she's, like a war general, and then she also is, which I really saw in Holly Hunter's character, like, she's very Stonewall, and she's very strong, and she's very pushy, but then the moment her daughter came out of the coma, like, you just completely see the soft side with her, which is very much like my mom. Like, she's the... Have you seen the movie, I can't remember it. It's, the one with not Susan Sarandon, but her daughter gets sick, Jack Nicholson is in it, and her daughter gets cancer, and it's...
I don't think I know this.
Oh, let me look it up. It's gonna bug me. Her daughter gets cancer, and her daughter's in the hospital, and she's, like, really sick, and she wants drugs, and the nurses aren't coming quick enough, and she's just, like, screaming outside, like, somebody get my daughter some drugs. Like, that's my mom. Like, peak my mom, but I can't remember the name of it.
I think, like, my parents are very level-headed, and, like, I've seen them... We've had extended family members that have been in challenging hospital health situations.
Terms of endearment. That's what it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I have not seen it. But
sad.
So my parents have had family members who have been in the hospital and, like, they've dealt with this situation. So I think seeing how they've coped in those situations, my mom becomes not mama bear.
Yeah.
But, like, just a very, like, like, mom.
Yeah.
Like, she would... I have a feeling that she would, like, be comforting my significant other or, like, at least attempt to, like, would try to, you know...
Not my mom.
Not be in control of the situation, but would try to, like, get the logistics down and, like, try to make everybody as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
And I think my dad would just be kind of... I think he would be similar to, like, Ray Romano's character. Like, I think...
Okay.
What's it? Terry?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think my dad would be kind of like, we can only do so much. Let's not dwell on this. We can't, you know, we should go home. We should get some sleep. We should get some food. Like, we can't do anything about surgery. Like, we just gotta wait.
Oh,
like,
no,
let's,
that would not be my mom.
like, and I think, honestly, I think my mom would be very similar. Like, she would be like, yeah, that's true. Let me go home and cook. Like, she would be like,
my caregiver role almost.
Well, yeah, but she would be like, she wouldn't go home and start Googling. I think that would freak her out.
No, my mom would.
No, I think she would just trust that the hospital knows what it's doing, the doctors know what they're doing, and she can't have any control. And so, I don't know, maybe my parents are listening to this and like, are you kidding me?
I know my mom, I think I know my mom enough to where she would be like, what my mom does is which I've never been able to master. She's very good at compartmentalizing things.
Okay.
So, like, say if something happened and, like, the dog got sick and then I got sick and then, like, the house has a leak, she can compartmentalize it to where she'd be okay.
She knows what's more pressing.
Yeah, so she would take all of the information from the doctor and she'd be writing it down just like Ray Romano's character. We'd come home, we would Google everything and she would write it down and then she'd go back to the doctor with her own notes and stuff.
And, like, questions.
And then, like, when I was in surgery, she'd probably, like, have her meltdown after that and then she would come back and then she'd be fine. But she's very good at, like, and then me, I'm just like, I'm just gonna cry, like, right in front of this vending machine, okay? Like, that's me.
I think for me, like, I do not do well in medical situations. It's really hard on me.
It is, me too.
And so I think, I mean, I don't even know. I just have got, like I've got to give all the props to Kumail. Like, I cannot believe, like, to me, like, literally my next note is, I cannot believe this really happened.
Yeah, same.
Like, I really can't. Like, it's just, it's unbelievable to me. But I think I would try to make myself busy because I can't dwell on the emotional.
Yeah, I'm somebody who, like, when it's emotionally heightened and everyone else is heightened, I tend to even myself out because I can't go there.
I tend to just, like, need to shut down.
Oh, no, I'm
just,
I'm the voice of reason. I'm like, it's okay. They're gonna figure it out. Like, they're gonna do it. And then the moment I'm by myself, I'm like, and then I'm like, I pull myself back up together and I'm fine. But I have to be alone to, like, process it. I can't process it in front of other people. Otherwise, I can't be myself. Yeah. And fully, like, accept what's going on.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's so interesting how quickly he gets thrown in, like, Kumail gets thrown into this family dynamic and, like, gets pulled into the drama.
They liked him.
Yeah. And, yeah. I don't know, but, so that's my other note here is, could you date or marry someone who didn't get along with your parents?
That was one of mine.
And
when I was younger, I said yes. When I'm older, I say no.
My answer is long. The short answer is no.
Yeah, I could not.
And I was talking to you a little bit about this. Mm-hmm. I hate the trope of the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law not getting along. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That makes me very, very sad. I value family so much, and I hope to have a spouse that values family so much that if my family didn't get along with my significant other, I'd want to know why. Honestly, my dad is he's pretty easy to get along with. Yeah. My mom, not so much. She's pretty, she can be stubborn.
Mine's tough.
And she likes what she likes. Yeah. She's very opinionated.
Yep.
she is what, it is what it is. And so for her, it's difficult for her to get to know people.
Yeah.
And so I know that she takes a while to warm up to.
Yeah.
So I just know that. So, in this kind of situation, I feel like she would be like Holly Hunter in that sense, that she would
keep him at a distance. Yeah.
Distance.
Especially if she knew what he had done and we had broken up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad, I think, would be much more
chill
and like willing to get to know the guy.
Yeah.
And so, but for me, it would be so hard for me.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I know my family is going to love who I love. Because that's my family. But for me, really, the concern is, like, me and my spouse's parents.
Okay.
I would, like, if I'm trying my hardest and I'm, like...
brick wall, yeah.
Yeah, and they just don't...
Get it,
or, like, don't want anything to do with me, or, like, it's this trope of, like, so the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law issue.
Yeah.
The trope tends to be, like, you're not good enough for my son.
Yes.
And, like, if you honestly believe that, there's, like...
Nothing I can
do. And, like, and it's hurtful to me, but also, I would think it would be hurtful to my spouse.
Yeah.
Like, to where I don't want him to feel like he has to choose between me and his mother.
They will always choose their mother.
Well, they should always choose their mother. That's the, to me, like, I firmly believe that. And so, like, no, I mean, I
think it should be a healthy balance.
Well, okay, I'm talking about, like, if the mom is adamantly, like, do not be with this girl.
I'm talking about, like, child rearing. Like, if the mother thinks that like, the kid should
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, full on, like, when you're meeting significant others.
Yeah,
and
take your parents' opinions into consideration.
Yes. And so I think, like, I just would never want to put my spouse in a situation where he has to think, like, who do I go to? Like, this year at Thanksgiving is going to be so awkward. That kind of thing. Like,
that's what I want. Someone who... It's tough.
Yeah, and then I would hope that when it comes to raising kids, that my kids have good relationships with their grandparents.
Same.
And, obviously, like, I'm sure every parent is different. Like, every mom is different. Every dad is different. And so, to me, like, when it comes to everyone's going to give you unsolicited parenting advice.
Always.
Everybody is.
Always.
Like, and my parents' philosophy on raising kids is not going to be the same as mine.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, I already know that.
Yeah.
So I'm fine. Like, I'm fine with whatever. Like, it happens. People are going to comment all the time. You can only do the best that you can do. But
it's hard because I guess I would almost, if I'm dating somebody, I would almost probably, most likely in my mind, already have an idea if my mom will like them or my sister. And, like, I don't think I would date, because my mom and I do have some different core values in life. Like, she really values, like, education with me, and I know with my spouse. But, like, say if my spouse didn't go to college and he built, like, a trade thing, or he's, like, a carpenter or something.
Yeah.
Like, my mom's biggest thing is she doesn't like laziness in men. She likes someone who will, if there's a leak on the roof, he will get up on that roof, take the initiative, and fix it himself, or call somebody.
Yeah.
So, like, that kind of thing. But, I mean, she honestly won't care if he, like, is into, like, anime or whatever. She doesn't care about that. She just wants, like, to know that he will be an equal partner, because she does hold, like, me and Molly in such high regard that she wants to know that he will at least meet me halfway, if not higher than me. So, like, that's the only thing.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well. Like, I think I am independent and very self-aware.
Same.
So, like, for me, if I'm to the point where I'm going to introduce
somebody,
my significant other, to my family, I probably already know that they're going to get along. Like,
yes.
Or
there'll be some aspects that I will tell her, like, this is who he is. Like, I would never blindly say, this is my new boyfriend without ever telling him.
Same.
I would say, okay, well, he's a little weird in this aspect, or, he's in between jobs because his one job laid him off, but I really, he helps me fix the apartment, or, I would let her know who he is as a person, and I would tell him, like, she's gonna be quite a fortress to get through, just so you know.
Oh, yeah. No, I would be giving him more advice than I would.
Like, it would depend on the guy, in all honesty. Like, it depends on the guy, and it depends on his situation.
Yeah. Totally.
Let's see what my next...
But yeah, I think for me, like, just family is so important.
Same.
That... Yeah, at first meeting, we might not all get along, and it might not be, like, perfect. And I get very nervous meeting parents. Like,
I'm pretty good with parents. I won't lie.
Oh, my God, no. I am, like, kids. Oh, my God. If he had, like, nephews, like, nieces, and, like, get that down. Like, they would be my best friend. Like, I can do kids. Yeah, parents and adults are scary. I think I am very self-conscious and, like, want to display myself in the best way. But, like, I also, like, I have resting bitch face. Like, I am very quiet.
Yeah, you
are.
And
so, like, I have a lot, like, visually not going for me that I have to, like, try to smile more and, like, be more positive and, like, and it's just, like... Oh my God. And again, I'm introverted, and so there's just a lot that I have going against me meeting a significant other, parents-ish, whatever. And I, like, value it so much that I'm just, like, putting so much stress on myself, too. Like, I'm like, this is such a big deal. And it's like, it doesn't have to be chill out, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think it would be really hard for me, like, dating someone that my parents... that I knew my parents didn't like, or, like, if I knew that my spouse's parents didn't like me.
That would be hard, too. It would make me
so sad. It would just make me really sad. I don't think it wouldn't be a deal breaker necessarily, but it would make me very, very sad. It
would be hard, because once I know somebody doesn't like me, my entire attitude around you will change. And I'm not somebody who can really conceal my emotions. I'm not, like, if something's going on, if you want to see how I feel about it, just look at my face. Like, I am...
Same. I wear
horrible about
my emotions on my sleeve, on my face. Oh. Like, you know exactly what I'm thinking.
Yes. And so if you say something to me and I'm, like, really devastated by it, you'll see it on my face.
Yeah.
There was another thing about this. The scene where the, like, potential Pakistani woman, and he, like, breaks up with her at the door. Uh-huh. There was one line that it's, like, the most infuriating line to me that I have been fed, and I'm sure other women have been fed, is the "you deserve better than me" line. Yeah. It really gets under my skin because, one, most women already know what they want from relationships, and then just by him, like, saying, because you really like him and you're kind of into him, and he's like, "Oh, you deserve better than me." I'm just like... It just, I don't know. It seems like such a cop-out of a line, and it's just like...
Well, to me, like, it's not you, it's me. Yeah. It's very similar to that. And I just think, like, again, I value honesty. Yeah. And so I would much rather you be like, I'm seeing this other woman. Same. Who I'm really into. Same. And my family doesn't know about it. Same. And, like, so I'm not in this space right now.
Yeah, and it also seems like when you say that to somebody, like, "Oh, you deserve better than me." Like, you're downgrading yourself and trying to make them seem like they're better than you when really you're dumping them. So how could that even be, like, a thing? Like, it's, like, my least favorite line when a guy says that to me. I'm just like...
I would agree.
I'm like, shut up. I know what I deserve.
Yeah, but again, to me, it's just a nice... Just be honest. Yeah, like, same. I get you're trying to cushion the blow, but you can do that and be honest at the same time.
Yes. Like, I would rather you say, well, you know what,
like, you're a great person, like... But I'm into someone else. Yeah. And that's so fair.
It gives me much more closure. Thank you for being honest. Yeah, it gives me so much more closure when they tell me that than saying, well, you deserve better. Because it's saying, well, like, you're great, but I'm not, like, ready for this. So then it's, like, almost makes them kind of, like, wait and, like, puts them on a hook. And I'm like,
no. I'd
rather you just be straightforward with me and tell
me. Okay, so one scene that just, like, gets to me is when he's starting to realize that he really loves her. Uh-huh. And so he's playing the voicemails
Yeah.
And, like, he just wants to hear her voice so badly. And I think, too, like, we're getting kind of long on time.
Yeah, we can do this as the last one, I guess.
Well, and so for me, like, what I want to talk about is the scene when he gets the text message from Terry that says, come now.
Yeah.
And he's walking up there, and you can just tell that he thinks that she
has died.
Yeah. Because at this point, the infection had gone to her heart.
Yeah.
And he had bombed his comedy thing.
Yeah.
Like, bombed his audition for the Montreal comedy, whatever. And so he just, like, you can just see on his face that he
is devastated.
Yeah. And then there's the flip because he looks in the window. And she's alive, and his, like, smile is just, like, so precious.
Yeah.
And it, like, oh my gosh. And then it just kills me that he goes in there and she just eviscerates him.
Yeah.
Like,
but she's also on drugs, too.
But it's like, oh just let that truth out. Yeah. Like, just like,
why are you here?
You make me really sad, and I don't want to see you. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're getting real.
Especially because, like, and also the point that she makes when she comes back and he hands her, like, all those gifts, like, these are the ashes of the Pakistani women. Like, she said to him, like,
his bag of stuff.
And it's like, she says to him, well, you know, I was asleep during all your heroic and beautiful moments. So
yeah, like, kind of like, yeah, and it's very, I think it's so fair, and I think it shows just how, she just seems like such an amazing woman. Yeah. Like, I'm like, oh my god, Emily Gordon, like.
She's very chill.
Oh, she's like, just seems amazing because
plus she's dealing with the fact that she was in a coma and she's redoing physical therapy. So she's not
she
in the
can
best
barely
place.
walk.
Yeah.
And so I just think the way that she processes this and, like, handles it is so amazing. She
takes a beat.
Yeah, and she, like, she's really able, and she realizes, and she's kind of like, I appreciate you being here and I appreciate you caring. But the last time I saw you, you were breaking up with me. You weren't ready for this, and then all of a sudden you're in love with me.
What changed?
Yeah, and she's like,
which is
the only thing that changed is I was in a coma.
Yeah,
and so to me, I do feel like I would feel the same way.
Same.
I would be like just because I'm sick, like that's stupid.
Yeah,
like I feel like it's pity.
Yeah,
like,
guilt.
I feel like you feel guilty. You're pitying me. Like this can't be real.
Yeah,
you know, and so I do appreciate that response to that stuff. I think it's fair. And then at this point, like, his family has, like, kind of not excommunicated, that's the wrong word, but, like,
disowned, but not
disowned,
yeah,
kind of him. And he just, like, at this point, I think it was almost like she lit a fire under his ass. This whole situation did. Yeah. And so he was willing to take chances in his career.
Yeah.
He's going to move to New York now. Like, I think, I just think it was healthy. And I do also appreciate that when she comes to him at his show, his one-man show.
Yeah.
And they talk, and she learns that he's going to New York. Mm-hmm. And, like, she's kind of basically confessing that she may still have feelings for him, right? And that she's thankful that he was willing to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I think I appreciate that because I feel like the romantic comedy trope is that in that moment, I feel like either she would say, I'm willing to go to New York, or he would say, I'm not going to go to New York. Or come with me to New York. Yes. And I like that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Granted, I realized this is a real life story and not a romantic comedy that might have, like, if this was fictional, it might have gone there. We don't know. Because eventually she does go to New York. Yeah. But you know, I did appreciate that aspect because I think it just allowed them to heal in their own way and process this event in their own way,
and then come
to
together.
Still value, like, what is important to them, like her career, his career as well, like, and you know, like, I think
so too. It's healthy.
Yeah.
And a healthy way to come together after that happened.
Yeah. And I'm glad that he was able to, like, go to his family. That's so me.
Yeah.
Like, if my family ever tried to disown me, I'm like, you're not getting rid of me. Like, I'm
back.
And, like, I have your garage code. Like, I have keys to your front door. Like, you best believe I am here. Like, yeah, and then, yeah.
And then the montage at the end where, like, the mom went to the wedding and all of that. Like, that was very nice.
Oh, yeah, the photos in the credits.
Yeah, those are sweet.
Yeah. I know. And then we have a cameo from the real Emily in the last scene.
Yeah.
Which is fun. And I love that they brought back the heckling.
Yeah.
It's a nice little callback.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm interested to know how much creative license they took with the story. Like, how much of it is true.
And how much did they embellish?
And how much did they embellish or add to for comedic purposes or rom-com purposes or whatever.
I don't know. I never looked into it.
Neither did I. That's just a
for all of you
statement.
out there, put some comments in.
But yeah, I think I love this movie.
Same.
So much. I think their story, I'm so glad that they like shared this story.
Same.
With the world. I think I love their writing. I mean, they both wrote this.
Yeah.
They wrote the screenplay. I like I said, I love the dialogue. I hope some of it is accurate or as accurate as they can remember after I don't even know how long, 7 plus years of being together.
Yeah.
Wait, 10.
I
feel like it was like 07.
I have no idea.
I think if you do the math, I think they got together in 07.
Okay.
Maybe that's when they got married.
I don't know.
I don't remember. I'm throwing some terrible facts at you. Fact check me. But anyway, I do appreciate them sharing this story and like
Same.
I think it's just
it's a story that we needed too.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I'm a big fan. If you have yet to see it,
if you haven't seen it and you watched and listened to this,
we spoiled it all. But still watch it because it's phenomenal.
Watch it again.
Yeah, and again and again. I mean, I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I rewatch rom-coms. So that's why we're making a podcast here, people. But yeah, so I guess that's about it for the Big Stick. Thanks again for checking out our second episode. Yeah. Again, you can follow us on Twitter. We have a Twitter. It's at Big Fat Romcom Pod. Yeah, and we'll link. I'm sure it's linked somewhere in our description. But yeah, follow us on Twitter. Let us know what you thought of the episode. If you enjoyed it, please give us some good reviews. Give us some 5-star ratings. We would appreciate it. But other than that, I guess we'll catch you next time.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Pretty much.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Hey, guys. Kelsey here again. I just wanted to come in because we recorded this episode about a month ago, and a lot of stuff has been coming up about these two that I just felt like, I felt like needed to be mentioned. I'm a huge fan of them, and I might be biased, but I just felt like it felt weird not referring to all the awesome stuff that they have going for them lately. So first off, a little correction. Earlier in the episode, we discussed what award we thought that they won. It was actually the Critics' Choice Award for Best Comedy, and I believe it was the same year it was out, so 2017. I could be wrong about the year, but I do know that it's the Critics' Choice Award for Best Comedy. That was the award that we were talking about. So, since recording this, literally 3 days later, Kumail posted his wonderful Marvel glow up for the Eternals movie that he is starring in. So I had to mention that. I'm sorry. But I'm really excited for him. That Marvel movie looks awesome. Both Kumail and Emily are a part of a new Apple TV Plus TV show that actually premiered today, the day I'm recording this. So you can check it out. It's called Little America. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to once I'm done with this podcast editing. But it looks really cool, and I'm excited for them. It looks awesome. And then also, what's great for the podcast is that it looks like Kumail is starring in a new movie called The Lovebirds with Issa Rae, and it looks like it's like a fun action romantic comedy. So Haley and I will probably end up watching it when it comes out and putting it on the podcast. So yeah, I just had to mention those things. And then, I don't know, it felt weird not to. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Moving on. Haley and I also were talking, and we thought that it would be a good idea to let you guys know what movie that we are going to be discussing for the next week. That way, you guys can watch ahead of time if you want to, just in case, you know, you don't feel like listening to a podcast that spoils a movie you haven't seen for an hour and a half. And so next week, what we are going to talk about is Mr. Right. Came out in 2015. It stars Anna Kendrick and Sam Rockwell. This one's kind of fun because it's totally not your typical rom-com. It's very much like an action movie with romantic comedy tropes. Haley and I just recorded the episode today, and I think you guys will like it. It's a pretty good, it's a good movie. I definitely recommend it. So yeah, watch it and then be prepared to listen next week, and that way you can chime in, because also we would love it if you guys reached out to us on Twitter when you're listening. Like if you're listening to the podcast right now, tweet at us. Let us know. Let us know what you think. Do you think that we're insane? Do you also not talk to your significant other about bodily functions because you think it's weird and you think I'm weird because of it? Like, let us know. Like, we really want to engage with you guys. And also, we could really benefit from some ratings and reviews. It's kind of how it's promoted within all of these directories, especially Apple Podcasts. So if you listen to the podcast and you would like to give us a 5-star rating and review, and we see it, tweet at us that you did it. Or if you don't have Twitter, we'll see because we look every now and then. And if you wrote a 5-star review for us, we will shout you out on the podcast. So yeah, it's a big help for us. We really appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or evening, whatever time you're listening to this. And we hope to see you next week. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.